Well, good evening everyone. Welcome to the championship finale. Welcome back to DRS F1. You join me here on you join me, your host, DJ Dalvasaurus as usual. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you weren't with us last week, you missed the incredible race in Abu Dhabi with Frosty claiming the win and keeping their championship hopes alive. Now, speaking of the championships, I believe, let's double check, all 4 championships are still up for grabs. First of all, let's start off with the overall standings, as everyone is beginning to ready up in the lobby. Now, the overall is only between Senna and Frosty. 9 points separate them at the top of the championship. However, Frosty has the advantage of wins if we somehow find ourselves in a tie-break scenario. But if it goes down to P2s, Senna will take it. Jax Daniels a little bit further behind, 72 points behind Senna at the moment. And we'll just go very quickly through teams. It's a pretty close one in teams, I believe. I'm trying to work out the mental map. Excuse me. Don't know what happened there. I believe 4 teams will have a chance at the teams championship. So that'll be between Mercedes, who currently lead by 23 points from Alpine. 3 points behind Alpine are Williams in third. And 41 behind the Mercedes are Sauber. It'll be a long shot for them. And then really quickly, Pro against between Senna and Frosty. 6 points between them in that one. And very quickly, as qualifying is about to start, we have a timed session for tonight's race. In Pro-Am, it is going to be winner takes all between King Kong and Sentra Finley. Both drivers on 154 points each at the top of the championships. And their records are basically equal. And I think if someone other than them ends up on the podium, I don't know, that might be a hard one to work a tiebreak for if it's possible. But anyway, it's basically winner takes all, King Kong or Central Finley. Anyway, quali now underway. We have an 18-minute session. Just a one session, unlike normal Formula 1. And we will find, in about 16.5 minutes time, we will find out who takes the final pole position, not only of the season, but of 2025. Let me hide the UI there. Let's get the mini map up as well. So we will follow along with Easy Life as they begin their first lap. Coming up to the first corner here at the Red Bull Ring. That tight uphill right-hander along this little curve straight here into what's considered turn 2. up to the turn 3 hairpin. Now this track is quite well, I need to get a track map up because I am absolutely unaware of how some of these corners are named. Anyway, into the little, a bit of a hairpin, I guess. You can consider it that. Into this middle section there, around where the bull is in the middle, you can just see it there. Coming back over the hill, dropping into a little right-hander there, short straight, and then another tighter right-hander right up to the white line if you can. Maybe a 106.3 from Easy Life, but Blunt Blade getting the first fastest lap in. Central Finley instantly almost beats it. Let's take a look at where Frosty is. They're going through the middle sector now. Purple sector, according to our little timing map there. Up the hill, and there'll be a little bit of a drop all the way over to using the left hand side of the track. Using as much track as possible on the exit to give us a 104.302. Now where's Senna? Senna just coming through middle sector himself now. Right, now I've got a track map up, I know which corners aren't corners. It's coming up through turn 8. Up over the hill towards Rind. And into turn 10. Only 10 actual corners on the circuit. The Senna with a 104.2 now takes the provisional pole position. Now obviously I mentioned the title battles in each part of the league. There are obviously battles for championship position that we didn't have time to cover. Senna gets out of the way, it looked like for a Red Bull of Sainsy there. As we see Jack Daniels starting an out lap, coming up towards turns 2 and 3. Now you notice there's a mini chicane halfway through that straight. Obviously the Formula 1 layout does not include the chicane, but it is a chicane that was brought in a couple of years ago, mostly for motorcycle racing, but I've got a feeling they do also use it for maybe certain national events. I don't know, someone will have to fact check that for me. Obviously that chicane being brought in for the bikes after a huge accident that happened there in the MotoGP round a couple of years back, as Jack Daniels is preparing for his first flying lap of the session, leaving it quite late to get his first lap in, considering we only have 11 minutes, but obviously a lap round here, as you can see there, is quite right. I don't know, it's quite a short lap. Got there in the end. Anyway, purple sector according to my little graph there. Going along the top towards Raj. I think, again, I do apologise if I'm butchering some pronunciations of the corners. Anyways, he comes through the final sector here. Oh, he's invalidated it. Oh, unbelievable. It looked like it was going to be a good lap, but Not to be. Senna looking to do a second run a little bit earlier than his championship rival. It seems News is also invalidated their first attempt. I'm not sure if anyone's actually pushing as such. We'll look at Finley in the Alpine. We'll go on the onboard for a moment. Looking pretty good there, a little bit bouncy, but that's just because of the bumps through the mid-corner there. That's looking really, really tidy from the Alpine driver. Looking to find every little advantage on his Pro-Am Championship rival, King Kong, as he invalidates his time also through the final sector. It's very unfortunate. We're going board with Senna's. Comes up to the turn 3 hairpin. He's a little bit of the inside curve there. Oh, he's all over the outside a bit though. Looks like he's managing to keep the lap going pretty well. Let me get lap data away. Oh, just a bit too late. Going down the hill through Rind. As we're going to have the Red Bull in front of us. Shouldn't be too much of an issue as Senna still improves to a 104.14. Really good lap from the Williams driver. And possibly very important. We'll go on board with Syme. Well, actually, we'll look on the outside for Syme's lap here. Bit of a yellow flag there, but that's for people getting out of the way of these guys on the flying laps. Looking really good for Syme at the moment. Now, if you've been a regular viewer, you'll notice that there have been times where for whatever reason, audio, because I choose to like stream to a party, the party will shut down, and I don't really want the lobby hearing me while they're trying to concentrate. I don't even know if they can, but it removes that little bit of doubt, I guess. Anyway, let's look where Frosty is. Frosty's plus 1.4. Has there been a mistake for Frosty? But no, yeah, choose to stream for a party. Unless we get a bit of an interruption with a safety car or VSC, I'm not going to restart the party. I'm just gonna, because I don't want you guys missing out on any of the crucial championship any of the crucial championship moments, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Frosty abandons that run into the pit lane. Looks like it's going to be a one and done if Frosty wants to take pole position here. Because I'm thinking 9 points. Ideally he's going to need to be... If he wins, he's ideally needs Senna to be... either third or lower, or Senna can be second, but he takes the Frosty will take the fastest lap and any other extra points we've got available. I do believe, yep, we do have a fastest lap point. Anyway, I've completely missed Jack Daniels. Shooting up to provisional pole with a 103.9, the first driver to reach that kind of level of a lap. I have to say that's pretty good going from the Cake Sauber driver. Let's look at Smug Git coming through the final two corners. We've just managed to catch this lap in time, I think. There's a 104.598 there for the Ferrari. Sneaks into the top 6. Let's look at maybe King Kong. The 1.2 down on their lap. Is this an aborted lap or is it just... Yep, he's trying to get to the pit lane. Let's take a look at Coleman. I don't think he's on a lap. Finley maybe? Is Finley on the lap? He's improved slightly in the... Well, down slightly for a sector, so I think he is on a lap. He's going to have Smug Git just ahead of him on circuit. Which shouldn't be an issue. As he comes up to not improve the lap. Let's take a look at Kessler in that beautiful Gulf livery. Obviously recently handed out to every player in the game as he tries to get out the way of Jack Daniels, who's doing another outlap. That's quite interesting. Anyway, obviously this Gulf livery, I believe it was used in Sao Paulo in real life. I mean, any Gulf livery is a very nice livery, and I think this is probably one of the nicest ones. Maybe second to the McLaren from a few years ago. Anyway, here comes Kessler onto a lap. Probably their final lap of the session. As they come up through the... It's not using DRS for some reason. Either they've backed off the lap early, or they aren't aware that they've got DRS. Either way, very, very strange as we see. Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me about that, ladies and gentlemen. We see the two championship contenders coming out to get ready for their final qualifying runs of the season. Now, I would say these are crucial for grid position, but Red Bull Ring is full of many overtaking opportunities. Here comes Senna to start his final lap. Comes up to turn 1, let's go on board. Ooh, he's right over the exit curb and he's backed off, he's invalidated. Now he's going to have to make a very, very quick off lap, otherwise he's going to not get another chance. Let's look at where Frosty is. This will be one and done for Frosty regardless of what happens. Using all the inside of turn 1. Looking at a good exit off the little 90-degree corner of Nicky Lauda. Ollie up to the hairpin. He's a 10th up on the lap. Here we go. Because someone has completely stopped in the middle sector there. I think that's just to let some traffic by, but they seem to be slow to get back moving. And it looks to be Kessler off in the gravel there. As Frosty 2 tenths up. Staying absolutely committed to the lap here. Dropping down the hill for the final 2 corners. All the curve on the inside. All the curve on the exit. Bit of curve on the inside and all the exit possible. Where's this going to put him? Second. Of 104.065. Now let's look where Senna is. Senna says apparently a purple sector in sector 1. Now this is all or nothing for Senna if he wants that crucial front row start. Because Kessler still seems to be in the gravel, waiting an opportunity to rejoin the circuit. Well, maybe he's just retired on track. I don't know. Anyway, Senna. Looks like there was no purple middle sector. It's going to have to be all or nothing in this final sector. Not as much curve as what Frosty was using. Jack Daniels improves even further. A 103.7. Senna around the final corner, up to the straight. No improvement from Senna. So, well, advantage to Frosty Racing so far for the finale. Actually, you know what I'm going to do regarding the whole party audio thing? I am going to close and restart the party before lights out, so I know for certain I won't need to mess about. So there you go, your final qualifying results of the season. Jack Daniels and Frosty Racing on the front row, Senna and Finley on the second row, Smug Coleman on the third row, Simon King Kong, Sainty and Kessler round out the top 10 with Newt, Blunt Blade and Easy Life finishing off the order. Right, let me just go work some things out and we will be right back for the championship finale. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You can just about see the cars on the grid on the right side of the screen there. It's probably one of the rare ways where we can actually see the cars on the grid. Let's take a little pause and look in race director to see what everyone's starting on, and it seems to be. It looks like it's going to be a hard race, ladies and gentlemen. I was not. Well, I was going to say there's no pun intended there, but it turns out there kind of was, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, the only outsiders going to be Smug Git with medium tyres and Newt starting on the softs. Apart from that, everyone else has chosen the hard tyre at the moment. So now we wait for the drivers to make the all-important strategy decisions. And if there is anyone watching in Twitch chat, or whether you be watching this I don't know. Well, I suppose the only way you can really interact with it, I guess, if you're watching through Twitch chat. But they'll give us any predictions, you know, if who do you think's gonna win the race? Who do you think's gonna win any of the championships? I don't know. Who's going to be the first to make a pit stop? I don't know, just thinking of random things. Anyway, here comes the final formation lap of the season. It's been an amazing season. I'd say, well, obviously, the main thing to say at the moment, good luck to anybody involved in a championship battle. As we see, Senna and Finley immediately disqualified. I think there's a small incident as they come around the first corner. Probably not. Senna won't be happy given if his overall battle. But anyway, we do have. Let's get that tyre detail up as we usually do. A few more have chosen the medium since we last looked. Al News has ditched the softs for a medium, but Easy Life has ditched the hards for the soft. I was going to say something and my train of thought's gone, which is not a good sign. Anyway, you guys can't really see it by. These guys probably not going to hear it now, but I, again, wish them all good luck in their individual battles, and hopefully we get a good race out of it. Anyway, as we come around the final corner to complete the final formation lap of the season, we're just going to wait for Easy Life at the back there to find his grid spot, and we will be underway immediately. So, Senna, Frosty, it all comes down to this. A little wait, here we go. The lights are coming on, the revs are going high, and we are underway in Spielberg. It looks like Jax Downs has had the best start. But of the championship contenders, Frosty seems to have the best one. Senna goes round the outside at turn 1. And maybe my words were immediately proven wrong, as Senna has managed to get through on his championship rival. Frosty racing, Frosty looking around the outside. Oh, there's a bit of contact between them all. I think it's just that usual turn 3 stack up. Doesn't seem to be any damage for anyone. Anyway, come up to the middle sector now. This little double left-hander in the middle of the circuit. And we seem to be seeing as they were as they left turn 3. Let's thank Michael for the follow I've just seen of the email come through. And anyway, here he comes to finish the first lap. Jack Daniels staying in the lead. And Blunt Blade has dropped. Never mind, the battling away with Easy Life in the back there. We might take a look at that if we get a moment or two. Anyway, Senna attacks on Jack Daniels using that DRS for the first time. And it seems to be a pretty simple move for the current championship leader. Now Frosty looking to do the same thing, but not got enough opportunity. And if you are Senna right now, this is exactly what he wants. He wants a car between him and Frosty. But to be fair, everyone's staying pretty close together after the first lap here. No real breaks in the pack, you know, everyone's staying relatively within it, DRS of each other. The Senna now sets the fastest lap of the race with 107.1. But let's see what Jack Daniels can do here with a bit of DRS. He's already had one dose of it down the start finish straight. He'll have a second dose up the hill here. Now, oh, he's managed to make the move, but Senna might have DRS as they come down the next DRS straight. Yep, Senna's gaining. He's gaining the side by side on the brakes into turn 4, and I think, yep, Senna's managed to regain the lead as we're watching from the helicam here. Frosty Racing not too far behind if any of these boys do start going wheel to wheel. And let's take a look a bit further down the field. Actually, let's get the positions gained. Senna up 2, Simon up 2, Smug-Git, one of the biggest losers of the first 3 laps with 2 positions lost. Here we go, back to the big DRS opportunity. Does Jack Daniels try that same move again? I don't think he's close enough. Well, he's close enough to get the extra dose of DRS down the turn 3 to turn 4 straight. However, he makes a bit of a slow exit off of turn 3. But obviously Frosty having that DRS himself, it's just not going his way at the moment. And I feel like Frosty is in that tough position where, excuse me, he doesn't want to be in a DRS train, but he can't afford to lose time to Senna. Oh, Jack Daniels runs very wide through the front. So, was that a spot of rain? I'm not going crazy. Am I seeing rain on my screen? Yeah, we've got a bit of light rain. Well, we are in the mountains after all, but wow, I was not expecting this as Frosty gets a really good turn 3. I think he's probably seen this rain and thought, I need to go before it absolutely lashes down. But looking at the strength of this rain, I don't think we're going to be seeing any tyre changes for the time being. But you can see I haven't been a little bit careful. They're not looking as Senna dives towards the inside. Senna's pit! Oh, everyone's pit! everyone but Jax Daniels and Sime have pit. Never mind, we've got a few staying out. Smug Git staying out. King Kong staying out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was expecting some excitement with these championship battles, but wow, this is interesting. Like, looking at the track, I thought it would be too early for Inters, but obviously they feel like the track is losing grip, as we can see an example of it with Jax Daniels spinning the rears off of turn 4. Now, I'm going to put a very rare moment. I'm going to stick the gap to leader on. How much time is Senna gaining being on these tyres? As Jax Daniels looks like he's going to pit too, so maybe my judgment is wrong and the track is actually ready for intermediates as Syme stays out to do one more lap. It seems everyone else will, except for Newt. But I've noticed there, Senna is he's already gained a second at least on Syme. I don't know if that's just because Syme, well, the gap I saw before was to Jax Daniels. I don't know. This is very, very tough call for the drivers, and one that could determine everything. Jax Daniels has managed to stay ahead of Senna and Frosty. In fact, Senna has broken Frosty by about 2 seconds. Let's actually move down the field to those guys. Let's come off the onboard there for a second. Was that just the delay between Frosty coming in, or are they struggling for grip? Now it seems to be a race of two halves here. I think, looking at the time, I think the Inters might be the best, but they're losing time in certain sectors, so I have absolutely no clue which way this race is heading. We've kind of got like a race of two halves here. We've got the Inters boys, and we've got the guys who are risking it on the dry tyres. I mean, to the defence of Syme, Smuggy and the others still on dries, if they can keep the heat in them, there's no reason why they should be coming in. It's only when you can not keep grip and you're going to lose time and temperature that's when you need to pit. And we can see a little bit the light rain on the track surface there. Now, maybe that'll be the telltale sign that this is going to be an Inters race. But we're about what? We're about a quarter into this race. So far, it seems to be going Senna's way for the Drivers and Pro Championship. In terms of Pro-Am, it looks like it's going to be going to King Kong as it stands, as Blunt Blade gets a penalty. I suppose the other thing we got to consider is pit stop windows. Now, looking at that, King Kong would lose a position to Finley if he boxed now. And I feel like these guys on the dry tyres now, as Jax Daniels has an attack into turn 4, slides into him, doesn't get the move done, he's not got traction on the exit. And Senna stays ahead in what I'd say is the provisional lead of the race. This is definitely becoming a wet racetrack as Jax Daniels is absolutely sliding through turn 7 and 8. I mean, Smug Git decided to make the pit stop, so is King Kong. And I do apologise for yawning all the time, guys. But we are gaining on Blunt Blade by, well, there's about 1 second to 2 seconds between them, or but this is, but what's going on right now? This is probably Frosty's worst nightmare. It's Jack Daniels. We can see him a bit sliding through the corner a bit. The rain's still falling down. As Senna's gonna, he's getting held up by Blunt Blade a bit, who's still on hard tyres. I think Blunt Blade's going to make the pit stop this time as he signals to move to the right hand side of the track. Stays out of the way of the inter runners as best as he can. And we do have the remaining dry runners into the pit and onto intermediate tyres. This is definitely an Inter's race now. But you gotta give credit to those boys for trying something a bit different. So anyway, let's go back. Let's put my gaps back to interval. Now, surprisingly, despite being a wet-ish circuit, I don't believe DRS has been disabled yet. Let's have a look through the field real quick, because Smug Git looks up the inside of Lord Coleman. Still fighting away into the middle sector here. As soon as I say that, the DRS has been disabled. But yeah, this does seem to be not Frosty's race here. Obviously, it'd be too early to say how. It'd be too early to say if this was the championship deciding moment, as we still have nearly what? I'm trying to work out the laps in my head. I believe they have. I don't know. I gave up trying to count. I've done enough counting today. Is Blunt Blade? I think he mistakenly put on mediums there because he's now onto inters. But look, Jack Daniels, it's not as important anymore, but still pretty handy as there's a Red Bull around in the middle sector. I believe it's Sainsy. Missing part of a wing, and they've nearly understeered into the gravel. They've done it again a bit there. Take it easy, Mr. Sainsy. Come on. You've got 2 corners to the pit. As Newt gets a time penalty for track limits. Jack Styles using that, obviously using the battery energy now since the DRS has been disabled. And it seems like it seems like Jack Daniels has more. You know, he has maybe, I don't know, better grip, better traction than what Senna does in this, like, very weird condition. Here we go, down the hill towards the start-finish straight. And we are not far away from half race distance. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jack Daniels has got the battery. We could see him move at the turn 3 hairpin here. He'll be using the slipstream. And though he won't have the overtaking aid, he's going to look up the inside at the hairpin. Senna trying to stick round the outside. As we come up over the hill, Senna stays in front just about. An amazing race from the pair of them here. And looking at where Frosty is, he's still losing time to the front two here. I don't want to say it's over because it's not over until it's over, but it's going to take a bit of work for the Haas driver to claim the Drivers' Championship. As Jack Daniels looks up the inside into Rindt. An amazing move there. He runs a bit wide on the exit. I'm surprised we've not seen Jack Daniels have a penalty yet. But now Senna's going to have the opportunity with some slipstream. A bit of defense from Jack Daniels. Senna not getting the move done at turn 1. Now, how much was Frosty in the pits? Fresh inters. Are these inters not lasting as long as we expected them to? That is a baffling decision from the Haas driver, but if these tyres are only lasting 10 laps, then I don't know. Anyway, Senna not managing to find a way through, but maybe knowing he's ahead of his championship rival by a significant amount of time, could he relax a little? But there's at least, what, 20 seconds between them on circuit now? There's Senna looking to box again, so maybe these inters aren't lasting. We're only getting 10 laps out of them, and we've all... Well, you look at the lap boards there. We've got over 20 laps to go. This is going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, where is Frosty on circuit? He's coming round the final corner. Down the start-finish straight. I think Senna's just going to stay ahead. But obviously, Frosty will have up to temperature tyres. And obviously a lap of understanding where the grip is at with new rubber under his right foot. As Sainty now gets a penalty for multiple warnings. Excuse me. Oh, Frosty gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Excuse me. Well, that's gonna be... It's made what's already a tough battle even harder. Because Jack Daniels also pits and he's gonna come out side by side with Senna. They're still side by side coming up the hill. They're bumping wheels with each other, but Jack Daniels stays in front. I don't think they touched, but it was almost like Senna was giving him a little shove to get the traction going. Anyway, yellow flag. It looks like Easy Life's had a mistake at turn 1. And I've noticed Frosty is 4 seconds behind Senna. This is gonna be... Again, not over till it's over, but it looks like it's Senna's championship. You know, given we don't see any incidents or any sort of safety cars or other race neutralizations, I think this is but Jack Daniels still defending. I think with this, I believe these will still be provisional leaders, as we see the three in front have not stopped yet. Or not stopped again, shall I say. Oh, and they're both sliding through turn 4. Senna gets a better exit. As Jack Daniels all the way to the wider ends of this circuit. These boys are absolutely leaving nothing on the table for you to get. But you gotta be aware that this fighting does bring Frosty back into the equation. So these boys have got to be careful they don't lose time. Battle away, but don't lose time. That is the key thing. Now I believe this is into the second half of this race now. Senna defending very well. And Frosty's pretty much lost the time that he gained from that bit of battling, so I don't know. Anyway, down for the final two corners here. These two have been inseparable all race long. From the short dry stint we had before the rain came to now, while we're battling very, very brutal conditions. It's wet, but it's not like, I don't know. It's a weird wet. That's what we'll call it, a weird wet. Oh, it was a bit of a moment for Jack Daniels on the exit of turn 3. He manages to recover, but he'll have lost time to Senna in doing so. I've noticed Senna is hunting down the Mercedes of DRS Sim 2. And look at this for an onboard shot. Almost driver's eye type stuff. As Finley now pits from the race lead, Jack Daniels is taking some interesting lines. It looks like Senna's going to get through on Sim into turn 4. Puts a car between him and Jack Daniels for the first time in a long time. Jack Daniels not close enough to make a move on the short run between through 4, 5 and 6. Down the hill into 7. Still waiting in the kick cell. I think Simon looking to make a pit stop in the moment. Or is he trying to defend the inside line? I think it's... Oh! There's a little bit of contact possibly there. Jax Daniels just about hanging on to it. But whoa, that was a bit scary. There's a bit of a slow exit again for Jax Daniels there. Now we gotta keep an eye on these tyres, because let's say we're only getting 10 laps out of these tyres. Some of these guys are approaching. Some of the guys who did make an earlier stop for some newer set of Insers. Some of them will be approaching that 10 lap mark soon. Then again, we can see guys like Smudgate, Newton, Finley before he pitted. You can go up to about 15 laps with these tyres. So maybe someone who can make those tyres last a couple laps longer, like Smudgate or DRS Sim. A pit stop now and they can run to the end. Whereas Senna, Jax Daniels and Frosty will probably need one more in the next 5 laps or so. And now Senna hunting down Smudgate. This will be for the on-track lead as well. But look at that little green kick Sauber machine. Just right, just close enough to make Senna think. And Senna, he's being made to work for it here. And well, we can see the gap to Jax Daniels is shrinking as well. So maybe Smudgate is unknowingly doing a favour for Jax Daniels. Now let's see what happens here on this long straight up to turn 3. No, nothing coming of it here. Smudgate goes a bit wide through turn 3. Senna will get through, but where's Jax Daniels slip into all this? I don't know. Smudgate just keeping his nose ahead. Senna's gonna have the inside line. They're still side by side, and I think Smudgate's had to concede the place there. But that was getting a bit close. Anyway, I believe we're gonna have. Oh, look at Senna sliding through the final corner there. Back end all loosey goosey. Now let's see where Jack Daniels goes with this. Still stuck behind Smug Git. Just doing everything possible to try and make a move, but it's not working. Let's have a little look into the field as we see Frosty is now past Syme on circuit as well. I don't see who else can we look through. We look at the Pro-Am leader on circuit, Centra Finley. Currently running 6th place as Blonde Blade gets a penalty. Kind of, you know, staying out of danger here. They've got a bit of a gap to King Kong, their championship rival. But also, there's not, well, Syme's kind of like close enough ahead, but at the same time not like in a position where he could hunt him down, if you know what I mean. Let's take a little bit of a further look through the field. We've got Sainty and Blunt Blade having a little bit of a battle, are we? Or we'll watch these boys for a moment and then we'll move back to we'll watch these guys to the turn 3 hairpin, then we'll switch our focus to a different I would say battle, but we don't seem to have many on circuit right now. As the rain keeps falling down here in Austria. As we can see here, Jack Daniels is the closest he's ever been to Smug Git in this race. Using all the slipstream, looking to the extreme inside for turn 3. Where's the south? Oh, they've absolutely gone in deep. I will not. I would say something, but I don't think it's very. Oh, look at the dive! He's lost the rear end in doing so, but he's got probably the best line for the exit. An amazing move from the Kick Sauber driver. Now, maybe these tyres can last longer than we expected, because in the last stint we saw drivers pitting around this point, but it doesn't seem anyone's interested in pitting at the moment. It's time into the pits, so it seems 17 to 18 laps might actually be the real laps to look for as he gets back going into this race. Frosty's stuck in 4th. Just what could have been, I think. If the race stayed dry, maybe we'd have seen a closer battle, but unfortunately, life isn't all about. Well, actually, that's a bit harsh to say what I was going to say, but sometimes racing isn't all about ifs and buts. It's all about the absolutes. but they've done very well this season, regardless of what happened here tonight. As Jax Daniels hit with a 3-second time penalty. And even after catching the penalties, still sliding all around the place. Simon gets a penalty as well. Oh, look at this. The tyres squealing on their way into... Well, I should say listen to them squealing on the way into turn 4. I mean, it's an interesting way to attack some of these corners here at the Red Bull Ring. As we now have 6 laps to go of this season. We've had high and low moments in this season. We've obviously had a race cancelled due to connection issues. That was Baku, and I believe that was going to be round 2 if had gone ahead. We've had obviously Six Pompano doing a one-off round where they just absolutely demolished the field at Monaco. We've had the amazing battle in the desert of Abu Dhabi last week. And we've got the drama in the rain here in Austria. And obviously, there's still going to be 5 laps to go at the end of this lap. But I mean, what a season it's been! It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate on it this season. I mean, this is the first time I've done well. As Jax Daniels uses the long lap escape route that MotoGP use to try and rejoin the circuit after running wide at turn 1. But I was just going to say how, you know, it's been a privilege to commentate on DRS this season. Hopefully I will be back next season if everything can be sorted out. And obviously, big well done to. Well, let me just double check who, just so I don't get any names wrong. I do. Obviously, you do have. Another one would be thanking DRS Swanson and DRS Smugget for obviously the opportunity to speak to you all for the last few Monday nights. Now, I also want to give thanks to, well, they're not been here with us for a few weeks, but my co-commentator, I've mentioned him earlier, Six Pompano. There's been a few issues, whether that be illness or having other stuff planned. Obviously it's unfortunate, but you know, not much we can do about life. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's made this possible, and hopefully it will continue into 2026. I'll probably say all that again in the post-race debrief, but oh well. King Kong now gets a 3-second penalty as well. Looking at that time gap, I believe as long as he keeps all 4 tyres on the road, I believe Pro-Am will be Finley's to lose. Now, I wish I had a way of like keeping up to date with the teams, but let's have a look at the field real quick. Looking at the points, I've got a feeling I don't know. Someone's gonna have to work all that out, and it'll be covered in a post-race / post-season debrief. It's not something I can easily work out in my head right now. Anyway, we're gonna have 2 laps of the season to go. I don't want to give it the big speech just yet in case something happens. But what a season it's been for Senna 17. He's been right up there all season long. There's been a few blips, but he has done almost everything right this season. And who knows, maybe having the Baku round being disallowed, or invalidated should I say, maybe the Baku round being cancelled may have saved him a bit here. Anyway, as he comes round the final corner to start the final lap of the season and of 2025 in DRS. I mean, what can we say about this driver? They've been pushed all the way by Frosty and Jack Daniels this season. Speaking of Jack Daniels, we can see him sliding around in the background there. Senna giving a few slides of his own on the entry to turn 4. But this will be a very important moment in the career of Senna 17. As he comes into the final sector, the nerves, the excitement must all be building up in his body right now. Into the final 2 corners. Just one more corner to go. And ladies and gentlemen, call up the champion hotline as Senna 17 takes the overall championship. So Jack Daniels will come home second as he has gives a few weaves across the line there. DRS Smugget comes home 3rd place. A very good result for the Ferrari there. And just behind him, it's an unfortunate one, but here comes Frosty and Centra Finley, who will claim Pro-Am as well. Now we're going to wait a few moments for Coleman, Syme, Kessler, King Kong and Newt. There's Syme. We're going to wait for Kessler and King Kong. We'll follow King Kong home as he's going to come home second in the Pro-Am Championship as well. Oh, I do apologise, I forgot about Newt. I do apologise to you, Newt. I did not mean to forget about you there. And that is it for DRS F1 Season 14. And that is it for DRS in 2025. We'll just cut the podium short there, just so I've got time to go through the results. Senna, not only has he taken both overall and pro championships, he does take the fastest lap in this race by nearly a second. Actually, no, tell a lie, it's more like 7 or 8 tenths. Still, pretty dominant performance from the English driver in the Williams. Jack Daniels comes home second, and I believe would be third in both pro and the overall championship. DRS Smugget third, round out the podium. Finley, Frosty, who's be second in overall and pro, in fifth. Coleman, Syme, Kessler, King Kong and Newt round out the points. Blunt Blade, Sainsy and Easy Life finish off the field. And no retirements, which is a good sign. Everyone managing to finish the season with somewhat of a high. Well, that was it. It's all over. Let me just double check before we do say anything. Now, it's time to give you a bit of a closing message, I guess. Thank you all for watching, or whether you just joined on today, or whether you've been watching with us all season long. Now, I believe on the DRS Twitch channel, I don't know if we're being counter streamed on there as well. I don't know if we're being double streamed on there or not. We might see us on YouTube anyway. You might hear from Smugget and DRS Swanson within the next few weeks. Obviously, we'll be moving to. There's rumours of moving to Tuesdays next time. So, well, as soon as I know that, if you've followed it, you'll know about me going live. If you haven't got the notifications on, get them on. Yeah, I think best thing is to sign off right now. Thank you for everyone involved, whether that be league admins, the drivers, that you've been not specifically driving or doing anything, but you're just a fan of the league or a certain driver. Thank you anyway. Thank you to my absent co-commentator Six Pompano for introducing me to the opportunity at the end of last season. And yeah, I think on that, thank you all for watching. Thanks to everyone in DRS. I wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll hopefully see you all in 2026. So, again, thank you, good night, and hope you all have a good time over the holidays. See you later.